Message on your phone from Stephanie Hernandez.
Hi, Jake. Good day. How are you? Can you hear me? Just reply in the chat if so. Awesome. Thank you. Looks like you're joining from LinkedIn. Give me a sec. I need my charger. Okay, here. Do you have any questions for me, Jake? Looks like we've been friends on LinkedIn for a minute. And you are in what industry? Fuel delivery. Sounds dangerous. Got to get my water in. So I've been drinking. Just grab a bottle here and there. So they're all over the house. I'm going to combine these before I open up a whole new one. Gotta stay fit and hydrated. What are we learning today? What would you like to discuss? So my theme or my title was why I became dual license real estate broker and mortgage loan officer in multiple states. But I am, because I am dual licensed, able to answer any question you might have in either industry. So whether it be real estate or mortgages, what questions do you have? Are you currently in your home now? Are you wanting to own your own home? There's a lot of myths and misconceptions about first-time home buyers or just the whole process. So anything you have at top of mind, I'd be more than happy to answer for you or get an answer for you. But I like being both. So I've been in this market, I've been in the industry, I've been doing this, what I've been doing, and I just call it helping people for over 20 years. And that's the biggest reason I do it, to help. And just being a real estate agent alone or just being a real estate broker alone was great. I mean, I live for what I do. I live for the joys and the smiles. When you cry, when you get your keys to your house, just those things that people thought were so impossible. And you are actually able to make it happen for them. So being dual licensed means I don't have to turn my buyer or my seller. I don't have to turn you over to someone else. I can do the pre-approval process as well as make sure I protect you on getting you the house of your dreams. When I was just an agent or just a broker, I would literally, go to my go-to lender. Hey, can you get this person done for me? And then depending on that lender, maybe they could, maybe they couldn't. But I just didn't have 100% control of the situation because Passed you over to someone else. But now I've got control over that part. I'm going to handle you from A to Z, kind of like a one-stop shop. Yes, I want to own a home, but it seems like the qualifications have become more strict. No, not necessarily. I will say that it's actually the opposite. Um, Typically, most loans back in the day were conventional, where you would need a 620 perfect FICO, or not perfect, but no blemishes on your credit report, charge offs, late, all those things. And that's still the case. You still have to meet some minimum requirements, but with FHA, we are allowed to go down to a minimum middle FICO of a 580. So when I say middle FICO, I mean we are currently using the most three common credit bureaus that people use there are more. There's a lot more, but Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are the three that we pretty much focus on. So when I say your middle score of the three, I mean you're going to have three different scores because there's going to be something off between the three. Something gets reported on one or doesn't get reported on the other. But they should all be in a ballpark. So let's just say you're 600, 650, and 7. Those are really broad ranges. They're usually closer than that, but I just gave that for an example. So your middle score would not be your highest and it would not be the lowest, but the number that falls in between the two. So that would be considered what we call your qualifying FICO score. So we can go FHA with a minimum qualifying middle FICO score of 580. So that's one of the factors that it's needed to buy a home. It's usually cash and credit, right? A lot of people say that they can't buy a house. I don't have the 20% down payment. It's not 20%. You can put down whatever you want to put down to lower your LTV, which is your loan to value ratio, the loan amount versus the value of the home. If you lower that ratio, then you have that bit of amount of equity in a home. So cash and credit. So I can go 580 on a FHA minimum FICO. The higher the FICO, the better, because there's some other parameters involved with that. Typically, whatever it is that's weighing your score down to the 580 could essentially become a hurdle or stumbling block on getting you approved as well. But luckily, when I say one-stop shop, I've got help for that too. I've got an awesome credit repair system company that I've used through the years, and I've got multiple options to help someone that may not be credit ready yet. So yes, credit ready is important, and sometimes it takes time to get there. I do have other options. I mean, if you've got some cash and you want to help get some things off your credit or pay some things down, I can always do rapid rescore for you. If you don't know what your score is and you want to just start somewhere, because you got to know where you are in order to know where to start. If you want to know where you are, then I'll be more than happy to pull a free credit report for you, or cover the cost of it for you, rather. But yeah, everybody gets a free credit report every year, no matter what. So yeah, you would much rather one person through the process. Yep. And I'm your girl. I got you. I can get anybody started, and just start where you are with a snapshot, a picture of where you stand financially. You will need some money down. I say that, but I've been an awesome rock star at actually getting people money back at closing. Go figure, right? Check my reviews, you'll see. But typically, FHA requires a minimum FICO of 580, but they also require a lower down payment. So 3.5%, not 20%. So let's just use round numbers and say the house is 100 grand. Where are you going to find a house for 100 grand? I don't know, but let's see. So if we go FHA on a $100,000 home, you have a minimum 580 FICO and you have 3.5% down payment that's needed. And let's talk about down payment because a lot of people confuse down payment with closing cost. Those are two clearly different things. The down payment is that on the loan, unless you are a veteran and you have a VA loan or you're moving and living in a rural area and you're getting a USDA loan, the United States Department of Agriculture rural loans, there's a map. It has to be rural, typically, people with farms or farmlands. And I'm a country girl, cows and horses. But those loans are 100% veteran loans because you served our country, or 100% loans, which means they have no down payment. FHA requires a 3.5% down payment. Your loan amount is only going to be 96.5% of the purchase price. So if it's $100,000 using round numbers, the loan amount is only going to cover your loan. Your lender is only going to give you 96.5. You need to bring 3.5% to the table, which is $3,500 if it's a $100,000 house. Going back to that FICO score, middle FICO score, the minimum that I'll need for an FHA is at 580. But let's talk about that down payment, that 3.5% that you may or may not have. There are programs out there available where we can do down payment assistance, DPA. I like acronyms. So in my world, there's an acronym for everything. It's like a whole nother different language. But DPA, down payment assistance, will cover that 3.5% for you. However, not with a minimum 580 FICO score. I do have lenders that have down payment in-house down payment assistance programs. And I say in-house because we're talking about the lender themselves has down payment assistance programs. But typically they're going to require a minimum 600, some 620. So the higher the FICO, the better you are all the way around as far as getting into a home and with less stress or less down payment. Because I can do down payment assistance. I can help you with that 3.5% down payment in the form of a down payment assistance program. Now, there's different types of those programs too. So we can talk about that as well. It's kind of like going down a rabbit hole, but I'll take it one question at a time. So I've got down payment assistance programs that are in-house with the lender. There are also third-party down payment assistance programs that my lenders will also work with you on, as far as, let's say, if you're in Georgia Dream, Shanoa Fund, there's tons. I've got a DPA link as well if you'd like me to. I'll drop it in the chat for you. But my down payment assistant link will tell you which third-party down payment programs you work for. Once I put you with that, then I can tell you which lender I'm going to put you with. Because I did say mortgage broker, meaning I'm going to broker the deal. My mortgage broker is Loan Factory. Love Loan Factory. We use AI in our 1003. 1003 is the application that you're going to complete. Once we get that 1003 completed, I can literally go to, I have 277 lenders at my fingertips in what we call our LOS, my loan officer system. Meaning, like, I can go to Rocket, I can go to Carrington. I mean, right now, Lifetime Zoom in, show them your 1003, show them your credit report, show them your AUS findings, and say, hey, let's talk rates, let's talk pricing. What's the best I can do for my client? Some lenders specialize in different niches, and some of these niches where we're just talking about down payment assistance. I not only have 3.5% down payment assistance programs, but imagine if I can get you 5% down payment assistance. 5% of your loan amount I'm going to get for you. So let's do the wash on that. Real estate agent, I'm also going to be able to negotiate a seller credit for you. On an FHA loan, I can go up to a 6% seller credit. meaning we're going to get money from the seller and we're going to get money from the lender. So when I say I've been a rock star at this lately, that my clients have been praising me, who goes to closing to buy a house, gets the keys, and gets a check back? So that's one of the benefits of being a dual licensed broker and loan officer, because I can help you on both ends. I don't have to pass you over to a loan officer or another lender. And I can do what most one lender can't do, because I've got 277. It's kind of like dating. What one boyfriend won't do, I mean, I've got a whole plethora of them, another one will. So I might have one that has a niche with down payment assistance, or I might have one that might do what most lenders don't like to do, is called a manual underwrite. Some lenders don't do it. So I've got an array of options for you. So FICO, minimum FICO on FHA, I can get it done with a 580. However, the better the FICO, the better, which means you won't have those things weighing you down. When I say weighing you down, sometimes there's other items on the report that are weighing you down. That's why the FICO score is what it is. So those charge-offs and those collections, and we can talk about how to clear those too. I've got the best credit repair company, not a mom and pop credit repair company. They're not going to go hide under a rock when things pop back up on your credit, as they sometimes do, but guarantee their work. Law firm based, using the fair credit trade laws to get you the help that you need. Working pretty quickly. I also utilize Rockets. Rocket also does what we call credit upgrade, and we can do a rapid rescore. I just got somebody from a 680, because we need a bridge loan, to a 705 in one day. So now we're getting her bridge loan because she wasn't able to sell her house before closing on her new home. So again, being a mortgage broker, I've got a plethora of tools and resources to help almost any client. So minimum 580 for an FHA, minimum 600, 620, depending on the lender I go to, for down payment assistance, where I can get you 3.5% or 5% down payment assistance. So if you're an FHA loan, you get the 5%, that covers your 3.5% plus another 1.5% that you could use towards your closing costs. Because remember, I said people often confuse down payment with closing costs. Those are two different items, and they add up to what I call as your lender, your cash to close. How much you need to bring to the table for cash to close. Pretty quick at getting you approved. If you get me a complete 1003 and all your assets and pull credit, give me 20 minutes and I'll get you a pre-approval letter. Or I'll give you a game plan on what we need to do next to get you ready, to get you there. But yeah, being a one-stop shop, I am in multiple states. I'm in 5 states, actually. I'm a Southern girl, born and raised in Louisiana, so I take care of my hometown. I graduated from Alabama, so that's like my second home. Moved to the big city, Atlanta, Georgia, which is where my daughter currently still resides. So yeah, I still own a home there. She's down in Savannah, sophomore at SCAD, trying to get her out of there. So licensed in Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia. Call myself hitting the beach after I hit 50. I said, okay, I'm going to be 50 years old on somebody's beach somewhere, watching my agents close deals on my phone. So I lived in Florida for a couple years. So licensed in Florida as well. Florida, by the way, is my biggest price point as well. It's kind of like as I moved up the coast from Louisiana to Alabama to Georgia to Florida, property values go up because every market is different. And then I find myself in Michigan, so I'm licensed here as well. After getting my mortgage license, UWM, from my understanding at the time, and they're still big boys, Matt Ishba, was literally flying me from Tampa, Florida to Detroit and putting me up in the Marriott almost every other week, or how often as I need it for training. So good at what I do, spent time investing in it, and then found a home here as well. and in Detroit, in Michigan, Detroit. So licensed in Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Michigan, real estate mortgage broker in all of these states, as well as licensed loan officer in the same states. So I've got you on the real estate side, the mortgage side, and even preparing if you need help with credit. I've got you on the credit side as well. Just about everything except for my insurance license. But hey, stay tuned. That's coming soon too. I've always loved finances of things. I've always loved helping people, and people are usually, when it comes down to large purchases, just not sure or don't have a source or just need some information or help. I've liked helping people. I call it my calling. It's how I get my blessings. For in my Father's house, there are many mansions. And then let's back that up. I love my scripture too, y'all. But the Bible also says be a lender, not a borrower. So kind of feel like I'm doing that too. As far as helping people, being a lender for them and helping them getting to their home and getting their inheritance. For the meek shall inherit the earth. So I just love helping people. But I like being dual licensed. I'm able to have a better control over the process. There's no falling out of contract or not getting financially done and me not knowing what's going on. I have plenty of lenders in my repertoire that I can go to. I pride myself on beating rates too. My company offers a $1,000 guarantee. Get me a loan estimate from whoever you with, and I promise you I will beat it. I'll beat the rate. I'll beat the monthly P&I. I'll even beat your cash to close. It's fun. It's actually fun being able to do that. And I talk the talk because I can walk the walk. Check my reviews. They say it. So what I'll do in my LOS system, loan officer support system, where I have all of these lenders, like literally I can show you my screen and I've got 266 lenders in a Zoom room where I could just click on any of them and let's talk about these AUS findings here. Let's talk about this issue on the FICO. Can we do this? Let's talk about a manual underwrite if it's needed, and get immediate answers immediately. So yeah, I like the one-stop shop. I don't have to release you over and turn you over to someone else. I like dropping in LA. I literally will drop a screenshot of a loan estimate from, I just did one from Regions. Regions Bank, right? Of course, if Regions can get you done, I can get you done. But I can do even better. So the interest rate, I beat it by almost a whole point. Cash to close with them was like 18,000. I got his cash to close down to 13,000. Plus, I got him down payment assistance. In which case, he walked away with a $200 check. I was like, enjoy your dinner. So, I mean, it's fun. It's really fun. Call me a nerd, but it's really fun to be able to make impossible things happen, make dreams come true. So yeah, qualifications. The higher the FICO, the better. And let's get you there. Let's find out where your starting point is. Minimum 580 FHA, we can get you done. Down payment assistance, I can get you done with a minimum 600 FICO. Things that might weigh your credit down could be collections and charge-offs. My rule on those are typically if it's over 2 years, not maybe something we can work around, something over 2 years ago, they stay on your credit for 7 years. But if you have something that was a derogatory account, is what we call them, over 2 years and less than 2,000, more than likely I can work through it. If it's been over 2 years and less than 2,000, more than likely I can work through it. If the difference between a charge-off and a collection on your FICO and your credit score, they both weigh down your FICO score. See, there's an algorithm that predicts what your FICO score can be. And I can run a simulator for you as well and tell you if you do this and that, what I can get your score up to be. But charge-offs are gone. they're not as critical as a collection. Charge-offs are gone forever. They're gone. They've been charged off. They're gone. Not worried about that coming back, because what we're looking at is your DTI. DTI, another acronym we use in this mortgage world, debt to income ratio. Your debt divided by your income. So charge-offs and collections that remain on your credit report, kind of like student loans, we have to go in there, even though they may say zero payment because it's a charge-off or it's in collections. As a loan officer, when I'm calculating your DTI, your debt to income ratio, it becomes a liability that gets pulled in with your credit report when I pull that in. And that liability, just your car payment, is X amount of dollars per month. I'm looking at your monthly DTI. How much is your income and how much is your outgo? What's your liability? I'm only looking at what shows up on your credit report. I'm not looking at the $20 you owe Uncle John down the street. Looking at your credit report. So I add all those up, or my software does it for me, and it tells me what that number is. If you have a collection or a charge-off, it may say zero for payment, so it's not factored in. But a lender's going to want to put 5% of that total balance that you owe somebody as a monthly payment in your DTI. That usually does it for most people's DTI. And let's talk about DTI, debt to income ratio. Your can't spend over, typically the rules around 50%. You can't spend over half of what you make every month, your living expenses. And there's two types of DTI. There's what we call your front end DTI and your back end DTI. Your front end DTI is just your immediate living expenses, your house, your insurance, your mortgage payment, or your rent, those types of things. Your back end DTI is that plus your credit cards, your car payment, and every other liability that's on your credit report. The lower the DTI, the better. The greater the chances I'm going to get an approved eligible AUS getting there. So the lower the DTI, the better. Means you got a little cash flow. You're not so strapped. You definitely don't want payment shock. These are all things underwriters look at. Payment shock is when you're paying, say, $1,000 a month for rent, and then all of a sudden, you got a $3,000 mortgage. So that's payment shock. But going back to DTI, debt to income ratio, going back to charge-offs and collections. Collections and charge-offs that remain on your credit report, and I say remain on your credit report because if you're smart, you'll get with me and I'll get my girl. And I'm doing a Zoom webinar with her next week as well, talking to you about the secrets of credit and how to help you remove those lates and derogatory items, and most of the times, without even paying them. So that's for another show, but we'll have to add a monthly payment to anything that's on your credit report. And let's just say you have a charge-off or a collection that says that you owe $5,000. Well, I'm going to have to put 5% of that for your monthly payment. So hopefully we get these things removed or we work around them. Those are some obstacles that could stop people from getting in a home. DTI. So your debt to income ratio is important. The other thing is your income. We need 2 years. I need 2 years on the job. 2 years on the same field. Let's just say you're a nurse and you went from St. Francis to Emory. That's perfectly fine. Same industry. 2 years. We can have gaps. But there's some circumstances to that as well. Case by case scenario. And what I have learned in every case, in every situation with any and everyone that I've helped into a home, every case is different. No case is the same. Nothing is absolutely, it's not cookie cutter. There's a case for everything, and usually I have a solution for everything. But yeah, the requirements for getting into a home today, you need cash and credit. You need to be able to show cash and credit. You need 2 years stable income, 2 years stable job, minimum 580. The higher, the better. I can get you down payment with a minimum of $600. different types of loans for different types of people. Now, we were talking FHA and conventional. Well, there's Gubby loans, which usually carry better rates. But of course, FHA loans also have an upfront MIP, mortgage insurance protection, that protects the lender in the event that you default. So that's on all FHA loans, which conventional loans do not carry. Again, case by case. If you need credit help, I've got you. You need down payment assistance, I've got you, whether it's working with a third party or if it's working with my in-house lenders, down payment assistance. Any other questions? I hope I answered your question, Jake. But yeah, there's lots of misconceptions. I'm happy to help. I love being dual licensed. I'm extremely knowledgeable in both. I definitely know my way around real estate. I went to law school, did not complete. That's one of my bucket list. But I also worked in law firms for 17 years at the same time. So that we called it HUD-1. Now we call them CD, closing disclosures that you get at closing, which is going to be very similar to the LE I give you at the very beginning of your loan estimate, LE, loan estimate, CD, closing disclosure, my real estate acronyms, mortgage acronyms. But I used to prepare those. I used to balance those. I used to be a title curative, which means that whenever you buy a property, we run title. Closing attorney usually does it. Title companies do it, or title companies, or within some closing attorneys, they work really well together. But I used to do that. I used to abstract. I used to be in the courthouse, grantor, grantee, running it backwards and forwards. Who sold what to who? Looking for a break in chain of title, which encumbers your title, and you no longer have clear title, and you can't purchase that home without clear title. So I used to do the title work. I used to clear the title work. Went to law school. I know real estate law like the back of my hand. I know mortgage law like the back of my hand. They make you stay up on it. They make you stay, like, there's all kinds of CEs. And in every state that I'm in, there's a CE requirement for every state every year. So when I say I know what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I love what I've been doing all my life. It's like a calling. I've been doing it on the real estate side, the mortgage side, the law side, the closing attorney side, putting together the closing packages, doing the title curative. I definitely say I know my way around real estate. So happy to answer any questions. Always. But yeah, cash and credit. And then also preparing you for home ownership. You can't call your landlord when the heat goes out, you know? So on the real estate side, we're going to make sure we go through a home inspection. We're going to make sure that the systems in the house are working properly, functioning, and not just today, but we're looking down the future, because you don't want to replace an HVAC next year, or a new roof. So these are other things that I'm going to be able to negotiate for you on the real estate side. I'm going to go through that inspection report with you. And I've seen so many inspection reports. I can literally eye an inspection report and tell you how much I'm going to turn around and ask that seller for on your behalf for credit to help you get these things taken care of so you don't have this headache. And yes, we never show the lender these. You don't give them the inspection report, or tell them all the things that are wrong with that. And it's little things like that, because I'm going to look out for your best interest on both sides. So that's why it helps to be dual licensed, so I can catch things. I had an agent where I only did the mortgage side, and she did the real estate side. And she did an ATAC, again, another acronym, ATAC, Amendment to Address Concerns, after a home inspection. And yes, we do need amendments. Closing attorney is going to ask for amendments. Lender is going to, we need everything, but you just have to be strategic. So you do not send a lender a amendment that says $6 in repairs from credit, from seller to buyer in repairs. Red flag. What repairs? No, we don't do that like that. So yeah, it's just advantages to being able to work both sides of the deal. Of course, there are some states. I think Louisiana is one, which is one of my states. They won't let me. Which, I mean, if Fannie Mae say I can do it, if the Gubby say I can do it, So the other thing too is stricter authority. So lenders call them overlays, where Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, because we follow these guidelines, which is what we call a qualified mortgage, because we're going guidelines. We follow these guidelines. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac make us follow these guidelines for qualified mortgage. QM loans, because we also have non-QM loans. So we'll talk about that another time. But basically, we follow these guidelines. Fannie Mae says I can be dual. You can be stricter, but you can't be less restrictive. So I have to at least follow their guidelines, but I can be even more stricter. Fannie Mae says I can get dual compensation, because I'm getting paid twice for the same deal. Once as the mortgage side and one on the real estate side, commission versus compensation. I can be twice. Louisiana says, no, you can't. You can pick and choose which puppy you want. So typically, I'll make the choice. I'll do a referral. I'll do the real estate and do the referral, or vice versa in Louisiana. But yeah, we lenders have what's called overlays. So FHA might say, government guidelines might say you must have 2 months reserves, perhaps, depending on your AUS findings. But the lender might say, I want 3 months. And that's just what it is. It's called an overlay. When you're, in addition to what's required, we also have an overlay. So be careful those two, which is also how I pick my lenders. Oh, we should do a pricing. I should do a pricing live where I'm pricing a loan and then show you exactly how pricing a loan works. Because also in my LOS, the rates change several times a day, at least 3 times a day. And that's why you lock in a rate, because you want to make sure you get that rate before it goes up or down when you lock it in. And you lock a rate with the lender. So when I lock a rate with a lender, before I even go with a lender, before I pick a lender, I've got 200 something lenders, right? How do I pick one? Typically, if there's no caveats, if there's not something that we have an issue with or a particular reason to go to a particular lender for a particular niche, then I just go straight to my pricing engine. In my pricing engine, I will see who has the best rates for the day. Just that easy. So we'll do a show on that one day where I'll just sit here and price loans. And pricing, in case people don't know, pricing is like what I'm going to get your rate at, and then what that rate's going to cost or credit you. So there's lender credits and there's discount points. Let's just say par rate. Par rate is without credit or discount. It's par. It's like break even par. So, yeah, par rate is where the rate is today, typically. Now, that rate varies per person and per zip code. You can buy the exact same house, cookie cutter, next door to Jim and Bob over here. Bob had a 780 credit score. Jim had a 580. Who you think got the best rate? There's something called prime pricing too. So it pays to work with a higher FICO score. So anything that we can do in the front end to get that score up, whether it's rapid rescore or it's removing some derogatories. Oh, something else some people don't know about credit. So let's just say you have an issue with JP Morgan Chase Bank and you paid this credit card down and they say you didn't, or there was something going on. Who knows? It's in dispute, right? There's an error, maybe, perhaps. When you file a dispute on a trade line on your credit report, that dispute freezes that portion of what it would do to your algorithm on your FICO score. Typically, if you're in dispute, it's probably a negative account, which would have a negative effect on your account. But while you're in dispute, it's kind of like you're in WITSAC. Nothing can hurt you. While you have a trade line in dispute, it does not affect your FICO negatively on that algorithm on what it could. Lenders do not want, you cannot have a dispute ongoing while you're buying a house. You're going to have to remove that dispute. And guess what's going to happen when you remove that dispute that you had on your FICO that was freezing that effect? When you remove that FICO, remove that dispute from your FICO, when you remove that, well, guess what? Now that negative effect of that algorithm is going to drop your FICO score. So those are a few things to keep in mind. We're approaching the hour here. And honestly, I also wanted to test my new streaming software. I've been buying all kinds of stuff, getting ready for my streams, lives, and podcasts that are coming. So this is my first live stream on multiple streaming accounts all at once. So I wanted to try it out. I'll also be bringing some of my actual account executives, my AEs for my loans, my lenders, because I want to educate you. I want to educate my agents more than, and my buyers as well. But I feel like a lot of agents, like when I was an agent only, did not know how to help your client in a particular financial scenario as far as getting approved. Now I do. So I just want to help agents and borrowers understand the ins and outs of buying a home. And I can get even more intricate with an agent that may have different types of buyers. We talked a minute ago about QM, qualifying mortgages, where I have to follow federal Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines. And by the way, all these lenders work on the primary market. These loans get sold to the secondary market, which is your Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So we have to follow their guidelines so they can buy them off the primary market, which loosens up money for these lenders to be able to continue making these loans. So we need good mortgages made by good clients, low DTI that get an AUS approved eligible, AUS, automatic underwriting system. Before I can issue you a pre-approval letter, I'm going to need an approved eligible, meaning that Fannie and Freddie got to say, okay, we want this loan. It's going to run through the system. And if I get approved eligible, more than likely, we're good to go with almost any lender. If I don't get an approved eligible, there's some other options: refer with caution, approved ineligible, refer ineligible. Those are not good things. Those are things that we need to work on. That meant that the system, the automatic underwriting system, detected something that requires attention. Could be worked through, could not be, but we'll have to go through the findings to see exactly what we need. But yeah, more than happy to do an in-depth deep dive on any of those other topics that I may have sideways brought up when we were discussing, just temporarily brought up when we were discussing another topic. But there's lots of moving parts to this. And I pride myself on having a really good grip on the whole piece. So not just the real estate side, but also the mortgage side. I can find you the perfect house. I can negotiate you the best deal. I can go to bat for you and your contract to make sure you win. But you've also got to be able to get approved for the loan as well. So we got to know how to figure out how to negotiate the loan amount with the purchase price, get you your seller credits, work with the lender to get you down payment assistance, work with credit repair to remove some derogatory items that we need to get done. But the first thing you need to do is find out where you stand. Cash and credit, yes. 2 years on the job, yes. Assets. It's really important to have assets because AUS findings might ask for reserves. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month reserves. What are your living expenses times however many months reserves? They're going to want to see that in the bank. Just depends on your AUS findings. Sometimes no reserves are needed. It says out of where you are financially. So the best thing to do is just to get started. feel free to reach out to me. If there is an agent that wants more information as well, I can drop my QR code here in the chat as well. There's a QR code here if you just want to join my team, and then get more information there. You can also hit me up and ask me for my 1003, my application, my website. I'm also going to put that on here as well. My website, my mortgage website, is also my 1003. Again, it's very intuitive AI software. I'll get a notification that you have attempted as soon as possible, as soon as you like click the link and start putting in your information. And I'm able to help you at any time to complete that as well. But yeah, got to get started, right? Thanks for listening to me rant on my first time trial test lives multi-streaming event. I'm going to start hosting people on here with me as well. And again, like I was saying, I'm going to have my account executives also on here joining me in to talk about their particular niches. So I might get Click and Close to hop on here with me and talk about their down payment assistance. Orion and EPM are two others that I also use for the down payment assistance. I've got a buy before you sell product. So if you're looking to sell your home and you haven't sold it and you want to buy your new home before you even sell it, I can pull the equity out of your old home with a bridge loan before you sell it. I'll give you 12 months to not even have to pay a dime on that other departing residence. You don't even pay a mortgage on it for 12 months. I'll give you 12 months to sell it. Give you a bridge loan in the process to get into the new home. I've got tons of non-QM loans as well, meaning for investors. Investors love DSCRs, debt service ratio loans. You don't need income. Your property is the asset. As long as that 1007, which is a real estate rental appraisal, comes in at the ratio that we want for the mortgage, 1-to-1 ratio, I could even do a less than one. It's 7.75 ratio, meaning that the rent amount does not quite cover the mortgage, still can get it done. And I can do those in all states. Investor loans, non-QM, non-qualifying mortgage loans, meaning that I'm not following Fannie and Freddie. Private loans, I've got SBA loans, I've got church loans, I've got land loans, I've got construction loans. I'm your lender, and I'm able to help any borrow. So thanks for chatting with me. I will restream this as well, and then I'm going to start doing this on a regular, so get used to seeing my face everywhere on all your streams. So thank you for joining, and I will see you next time.